Hey STRU friends, this is your personal invitation to co-invest alongside me. If you haven't heard, I've launched Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities Fund, where I will be personally investing all of my short-term rentals going forward. And if you're an accredited investor and you want instant diversification and you want to participate in the best ideas that I identify, you relate to all of my teachings and the uniqueness and the sense of place and all of that stuff, then please click on the description below and find out more about Stomp Capital short-term rental opportunities. The best is yet to come and we're literally getting started. I would love to have you alongside, so let's go. YouTube, what's happening? It's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and professional real estate developer. And today is a continuation of our series, asking Twitter about what they want to learn on the YouTube channel. If you're not following me on Twitter, you should, and there's plenty of other people that are worth following out there as well. So come hang out on Twitter. There's incredible information. So without further ado, one of the questions that I was asked repeatedly by many people was, when you teach about creating purpose-built short-term rentals, what exactly does that mean? What are the major differences or considerations when you're building from scratch or perhaps renovating, total gut renovation for short-term rentals versus a traditional family house? So let's get into it. Let me start off by saying this is a work in progress, right? Like, I've only been doing this custom building short-term rentals over here at Edge Camp in the Outer Banks, which is where I'm filming today, for about 2 years. And we learn from every single build, and we'll continue to learn and iterate and improve and so on. That's the way that you become an expert in something, right? It's not like I had this knowledge and now I'm just executing it. We're actually going through the process right now, and we're learning from our guests and the feedback and seeing what people do and how they do it. And so we've learned a tremendous amount from our first purpose-built short-term rental, the 14-bedroom, 12,000 square foot home here in Salvo, the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And one of the things we learned immediately was that people really wanted a pool and a place to stay. I thought we were building it just for kiters, and kiters would be out there the entire time. It turned out that there was a lot more demand, a lot more interest. People wanted to have weddings and corporate offsites and just family gatherings, and those people really wanted a pool. So the first thing we did was we created an entire massive pool area, cabana, outdoor kitchen, outdoor bathroom. It's got a television. So like these are the kind of things that initially I didn't think that we needed, and then we added. But that's no surprise. I mean, a home in a vacation area with a pool is no surprise. But what we do that I think is kind of unique and interesting is we have a lot more gathering areas, communal sitting areas. You've heard me teach time and time again that I think one of the big opportunities in the short-term rental market, the theme, is around community, bringing like-minded people together, whether they're related as in a family or they're related by an interest. Maybe it's kiteboarding. Maybe we've got people coming in today and staying at Edge Camp, the whole buyout. They're creative types that work for technology companies. They want to play during the day and they want to have a mastermind at night. And so one of the things that we've learned as we've gone through all of this is we need a lot more smaller communal areas, little sitting areas, little gathering areas, little nooks where people can splinter off and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Let's go have a private conversation. And then we have big sitting areas where the entire group can meet as well. Those don't typically exist in a single family home. And by way of example, the home that we literally just opened up earlier this week, we've hosted our first guest. The guests that I just discussed, the technology executives, the creative types, they're coming. They've rented the big house and this house and a few other homes. In the oceanfront house that they're staying in, we have 4 different sitting areas inside the house. And so like in a traditional house, you might have one living room. Maybe you have one living room and kind of like a den. We have 4 different living rooms, if you will, plus a den or a home office, plus thousands of square feet of outdoor decking, plus the whole area by the pool. And the reason we've done that by design with intent is we want people to be able to go and splinter off and have in-depth conversations and get to know one another better, and not just have like 3 different conversations going on at the same time in the one living room. So instead we have 4 different areas where 4 different groups of people can gather and have different discussions. And when you're doing this mastermind sort of concept, you can have breakout sessions. Hey, on the top floor in the main living room, we're going to be discussing financing. On the second floor, we're going to be discussing sourcing. On the first floor in the ground level, we're going to be discussing like operations, right? And so you can like rent this home and you can have these breakout groups, and you're not stuck in a bedroom, you're not stuck in the kitchen. So that's a second consideration. The third thing I would say is really tied to a sense of place. Like, you know where your short-term rentals are, where you're building, or maybe it's a gut renovation down to the studs and you're rebuilding. but it has to have a sense of like place and a theme, an idea of why people are coming. So let me give you a couple of examples. If you were on a big farm, let's say it's a working farm and your whole thing is organic produce and healthy living and wellness and farm to table, and you're going to bring in some chefs that are going to cook or cater and so on, you know, the size kitchen that you have there would likely be significantly larger than if it was just a single family home. And the flip side of that is, let's say you're in an urban area and everybody books your place because they want to walk to all these incredible restaurants, right? Like it's a really great foodie environment and you've got the best restaurants in walking distance. You might have, conversely, a smaller kitchen. So all I'm saying is that when you build or gut renovate your short-term rental, don't just build the exact same footprint, the exact same floor plan, what you're used to, what you're accustomed to, because you're building for STR 2.0, which we're quickly moving past. And some of you might say, yeah, but Richard, what about resale value? You know, like if I build this custom STR house, how am I ever going to sell it? And here's the reality. I very firmly believe that STRs are going to be as desirable, if not more desirable, than the standard home going forward. And specifically, there's going to be entrepreneurs like you and me that are looking to buy these STR built homes because they will cash flow better, they're a better investment. And when we go buy these things, we're buying a business, right? We're not just buying like a house and we're going to sell it to the Jones or the Smith. We're buying a business that we're going to own and we're going to operate. Maybe it's part of our portfolio. Maybe we're going to sell it to institutions. So if it's a purpose-built STR and it's unique and it's differentiated and it suits the needs of the area, the sense of place, the people that are coming, what they're doing there, and it's done very well, it's going to be additive, accretive. It's going to add value. It's going to be worth more than if it was just like a standard house for the Smiths or the Jones. So those are a couple of things that I think of. Make sure that you know who's coming, you know what the size group is, you know what they're going to be doing, you know how they're going to be using the home, and now get creative and build it with that in mind. And don't get, stuck in the legacy way of building, because we're quickly moving past that. So I would love to hear your comments below. What have you done in your custom built home? What do you think would make sense? Ask questions. Let's get this dialogue going, because that's how we will all grow. And as always, I'm going to ask you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and just remember, the best is yet to come. So let's go. Hey STRU friends, this is your personal invitation to co-invest alongside me. If you haven't heard, I've launched Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities Fund, where I will be personally investing all of my short-term rentals going forward. And if you're an accredited investor and you want instant diversification and you want to participate in the best ideas that I identify, you relate to all of my teachings and the uniqueness and the sense of place and all of that stuff, then please click on the description below and find out more about Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities. The best is yet to come and we're literally getting started. I would love to have you alongside, so let's go.